everyone and welcome to another episode of the Jamie Hughes Show. My name as always is Jamie Hughes and today I am here to give you my 10 movies I am most excited about seeing in 2018. Now there isn't really a massive order to this list. I was just skimming through the movies that are being released in 2018 and these were kind of the 10 that jumped out at me the most and I thought, yeah, I'm actually pretty excited about seeing these. So let's jump into it, and first up, it is Ocean's 8. Now before you all start jumping in the comment section and leaving paragraphs upon paragraphs of why there shouldn't be a reboot of an all-female led movie, I don't know, whatever, just shush. Just let's leave it there. Let's leave that with all the Ghostbusters back in 2016 because I actually think this looks like a really fun crime caper. Now there are some flaws and my biggest gripe is with this movie is that Rihanna's in it because I just don't think she's a very good actress, but from what I've seen of the trailer it looks like she hasn't got a massively prominent role, but I do think there are some positives to this movie. It's got a really strong cast. You've got Sandra Bullock, Cate Blanchett, Sarah Paulson, Helena Bonham Carter, Mindy Kaling. They're just the ones I can remember. There's a load of other supporting casts and it looks, like I said, it looks very different to the George Clooney Ocean's 8 universe. I think it's a reboot. I don't think it's in any way going to be related to the George Clooney universe. Maybe Sandra Bullock's character and George Clooney's character may be related in some way, but I think it is a very fun standalone movie. I get they're using the Ocean's 8 moniker. It's a franchise that sells. That's the only reason they're doing it, is to put bums in the seats. It's an all-female cast. Who really cares? It looks like a fun, interesting crime caper. So if you guys want to check this one out, it is out on the 8th of June. Next up we have Den of Thieves, which I can't believe I'm actually excited for this movie. It's got Gerard Butler in it, it's got 50 Cent and it's got O'Shea Jackson Jr. And what really drew me to this movie, because it just like, with those, not O'Shea Jackson Jr. to an extent, but a movie with Gerard Butler and 50 Cent that is getting a cinematic release in 2018 just sounds like ludicrous. This sounds like it should be a straight-to-DVD movie, but no. It sounds really cool and interesting, this movie. It is essentially the last mission of San Andreas of GTA 5. It is essentially the last mission of GTA 5 on the big screen where they're trying to do a heist. Is that the right terminology? Is that what you do? You do a heist? Is that what like gangsters do when they phone up each other and go, "Oh, Dave, we're gonna do a heist tonight"? I don't know, but anyway, these guys are planning a heist. They wanna do a heist on the Federal Reserve, I think it is. It's like the only bank in America that has not been heisted. I really need to get up on my Robin terminology, but it's the only like building in America that's not been heisted. And Gerard Butler has got this really crack team of police that are above the law within a sense, and they are hunting down 50 Cent and O'Shea Jackson Jr.'s characters. And as I say, it sounds really dumb, but from the trailer and the fact that it just reminded me so much of GTA 5, I'm very, very excited for Den of Thieves. And if you guys want to go and see and check out Den of Thieves, it is out on the 19th of January in America, and I think it comes out on the 1st or the 2nd of February over here in the UK. So next up we have Game Night, and I love films like this. The premise of this movie is that a bunch of friends meet each week for a game night, and when they go to this specific game night, it turns out their friend is involved in some kind of shady stuff. He gets abducted, and then without them really knowing, they have to go and rescue him. But they think it's a game the whole time, and it looks like a really outrageous, fun, over-the-top comedy. It looks like it's not going to take itself too seriously, and I love movies like that. It looks very self-aware. It's like, yeah, we're making this, but we're going into it wholeheartedly, and we're going to make this film work. And it just looks like just a really nice bit of fun, to be honest with you. It's got Jason Bateman in it, who I love. I've loved since Arrested Development. He can do no wrong in my eyes. It's got Rachel McAdams as well. She plays the female lead. And it just looks like a good old bit of fun. And now this is released in February in America, but it's not getting released over here in the UK until the 4th of May. So we do have a little bit to wait for it. Next up, we have Jurassic World: The Fallen Kingdom. Now, to be honest with you, when I saw the trailer for this, I wasn't too excited. I love Jurassic World, like don't get me wrong, I really like Jurassic World, but there was something just felt inherently off about the Fallen Kingdom trailer. It just felt like they'd given a lot of the story, a lot of the plot and a lot of the action away in that first like kind of 2-minute teaser trailer. Now, that's not to say that this film is going to be bad. I think it's a really interesting concept that they are laying out in the sequel, which is, do the dinosaurs deserve to live? Do they deserve to be given a right to survive and carry on as a species once again? And I really want to see a darker tone to this movie. Like, as I say, I loved Jurassic World. I really loved the fun, like, happy-go-lucky nostalgia effect it had on me. I got really misty-eyed in the cinema a few times because the nostalgia was hitting me right in the feels. But I think if they change direction massively with this movie, then it could be a huge hit and could set up a really great finale in this trilogy. But I think they have to, like, they have to take the risk and change it up a little bit, and hopefully they do that. So if you want to see for yourselves and you want to check this one out, it is out on the 22nd of June. So next up we have Early Man, which looks like a really fun expansion of the Aardman universe. Nick Park is back on the big screen, and that's why this had to go on this list essentially. Huge fan of Wallace and Gromit, love Wallace and Gromit, loved Creature Comforts, love Shaun the Sheep. Just, this guy can do no wrong, and he is a real pioneer of claymation and animation, but also tells really fun, organic stories. And not to go too depth into this, because it is an animation film, it is aimed at kids, but it looks like a really fun adventure. It's got a really strong cast led by Maisie Williams of obviously Arya Stark fame of Game of Thrones, and I think this one might go under the radar a little bit, but I think it could be one of the best films of 2018 if it can deliver like the long lineage of Aardman films have. And if you want to check this one out, it is out on the 26th of January over here in the UK, but does come out a little bit later in the year. I think it's February over in America, so you guys have to wait for this one. Next up we have Deadpool 2. I really don't know a lot about this, but I loved the first incarnation of Deadpool, the first Deadpool movie back in 2016. Ryan Reynolds is like, there was just one of these things, you know, where the universe falls into place and the right actor gets the right role at the right time. That is what Deadpool is. We've seen all of the fun teaser posters that have been released already for Deadpool. We don't know too much about the continuation of the story of Deadpool yet, but it still looks like a really fun movie. It's gonna be awesome. I can't like big it up enough already, and we don't really know too much about it. So if you want to go and see Deadpool 2, it is out on the 1st of June. Next up we have The Incredibles 2. Again, very similar to Deadpool. We've only seen teaser images, but it's The Incredibles. Do you know what I mean? Like, there's all these memes going around like, don't be taking your like 6-7-year-old whiny kids to go and see this movie. This is made for like my generation, kids that are like 23, 24 now, that were kids when The Incredibles came out 15 years ago. This is for us. Let us have our little fun with it and then go and take your kids to see it. But again, it's The Incredibles, it's Disney, it's gonna be brilliant. I don't have to say any more about it. It sells itself. So if you wanna go and check out Incredibles 2, it is out on the 15th of June. Next up, we have two films that I couldn't really decide which one I wanted to pick, because I've gone for two of them. I've combined the two, and the first one is The Nun, which is an expansion of the Conjuring universe. It's The Nun Valak, and it looks like it's going to be an origin story to where Valak and the legend and the demon and the hell beast or whatever it is, where she originates from. Now, I think they've teased this in a few of the latest kind of Conjuring style movies, especially the latest Annabelle creation. It looks like she is some sort of Scandinavian nun, and that is where she becomes possessed and evil and all that. But I'm a big fan of horrors. I'm a sucker for horror films. I needed a couple of horror films on this list, and I'm very excited for The Nun. I think what James Wan is doing in building a very organic horror universe is awesome, and I can't wait to see the other continuations of the Conjuring universe, like The Crooked Man, and we're probably going to get like a Conjuring 3 and more adventures of Annabelle, and it looks really fun. So if you do want to go and check out The Nun, it is out on the 13th of July. And my next movie that I'm excited for is Winchester. Now, this movie has a very Woman in Black style feel to it, but more of an Americanized version. It's set in America and all that sort of jazz. It stars Dame Helen Mirren of just like everything fame. She was the bloody queen. She was that woman out of Prime Suspect. You all know who Helen Mirren is. She is one of the finest actors of our generation, and the fact she's signed up for a horror film gives me great hope for this story. So as I said, does feel along the same lines as The Woman in Black. Essentially, this heiress to a gun dynasty feels like she's being haunted by the souls of people that have been killed by the Winchester rifle. Now, I know that sounds a little bit far-fetched and supernatural, but that's what this movie is, and I think if it's done in a very, not low budget, but low-key way, and it's low-key horror like The Woman in Black is, like quite like psychological, it really makes you think that we could have like the sleeper hit of 2018 on our hands here. I'm really excited for it. As I say, I love horrors, and I really love like slow burner horrors that are not properly jump scares. And I think if they can craft this and deliver this well, then yeah, it could be one of my favourite films of the year. So if you want to check out Winchester, then that is out on the 2nd of February. Next up, obviously it was going to be on this list somewhere, and it's cropped up towards the end of the list. And this is Solo, a Star Wars story. It is the second of the Star Wars kind of spin-off anthology movies, and as the title says, it is a story about Han Solo in his youth, essentially. We've seen loads of pictures. There's been a bit of controversy surrounding it. Obviously, Chris Miller and I can't remember the other guy's name, but the two guys that directed the Lego movie, they were fired from it. Ron Howard came in and was replaced and kind of finished off the movie. So a little bit of a worry there is whether there's going to be kind of contrasting styles throughout this movie, but I highly doubt it. Ron Howard is more than capable of making a very good film. But yeah, it's a weird one, this one. I was really excited for it, and then my kind of excitement's tailed off. I think since the release of The Last Jedi. Like, I shouldn't be, but I'm kind of worried about Star Wars films now. Like, not that I didn't like The Last Jedi, and a shameless plug here, if you want to check out my spoiler review of it, where I talk in depth about everything I felt about The Last Jedi, then click the link above my head now. But yeah, like, Star Wars felt very safe 2 months ago, and now it feels like we're kind of in a little bit of a land of uncertainty with it. And I know that it is nothing to do, it's not a continuation of the Skywalker story, but it'll still be interesting to see the kind of reception that Solo gets. So if you guys want to go and check out Solo, then it is out on the 2nd of May. I think they've really missed a trick there not releasing it on the 4th of May, but anyway, Solo is out on the 2nd of May. And finally, rounding off this list, as I said, it wasn't really in much of a numerical order, this list, but I'm still very excited about this movie, very hyped for it, and that is Cloverfield III, which has the very tentative title at the moment of The God Particle. Now, this is going to be more of a sequel than 10 Cloverfield Lane. It is going to be more of a direct sequel, but slash a prequel to Cloverfield. It's all very confusing, but from the very little amount of information we know about this movie, this film is going to take place in space, and it's going to kind of lead up to the events of what happened in Cloverfield. So it's going to be, we kind of get more of an origin and a background to the monster. That's what I think is what we're going to get from what I've seen, but I could be totally wrong. One of the things I love about Cloverfield and the Cloverfield franchise is that everything is a mystery surrounding it. Everything is kept so tight-lipped. Like, as of recording this morning, the release date for Cloverfield 3 has been pushed back now. It is going to be released on the 20th of April. That may change, but I'm still very excited. As I said, I don't know what's going to happen in this film. and there's so many possibilities now. They are basically building universes within the Cloverfield universe, and that is a really, really cool thing, and I'd be really excited to see in what direction they go with Cloverfield, or the God Particle, or whatever they're going to be calling it when it is released, as I say, on April 20th. So that is my list. They are the movies I am most looking forward to seeing in 2018. I probably missed a load out. I probably missed one of the films you're most looking forward to seeing. So let me know your list, as always, down in the comments below. There's going to be loads of like independent films and smaller films I missed out on this list. I totally did that last year. There was movies I overlooked at the beginning of 2017, and a few of them ended up becoming my favourite films of 2017. So I'm totally open to seeing everything. These were just the films that jumped out at me when I was looking to see what kind of big movies were coming out this year. So as I say, let me know your lists, as always, down in the comments below. If you did enjoy this video, then why not subscribe to keep up to date with all the latest movie news and reviews, and as always, why not give me a like, as it lets me know that you're enjoying these videos. And thank you very much for watching this episode of The Jamie Hughes Show. I will see you in the next one. Ta-ra!